everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Hakuoki Kyoto Wins. Now this time we're going to pursue one of the brand new guys that has not previously been in Hakuoki, Ryouma Sakamoto. And hopefully since he's a brand new character there will be more for him in this game than there was for Sanin. So let's check it out. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. Alright, so I will let you see the choices we make along the way. First of all, we have to find a way to escape. This time, let's see. Well, the guide says stay out, but I think that's a typo. I think they must mean stay put. And wow, I had no idea. Wow, these are a lot of the same choices we made for Sanin. And this time, I quietly return to my room again. Yeah, all the same choices so far. However, this time I get to go to Fushimi. My father might be at Fushimi. I want to find out. Even if he had already left Fushimi, there was a chance I could find a lead to his next location. I had already made up my mind. I will go to Terada Inn. Saito, would you mind if I come along with you?
Sure.
Thank you. Wow, I couldn't believe I might see father. My heart pounded heavily in my chest, and I did my best to keep my composure and bow. The air was slightly humid, a thin dampness permeating despite no signs of rain.
It's been a while since you've been outside, huh? How do you feel?
Damp? It was an even longer while since I'd worn straw sandals, so blisters formed around my strap. Ouch. I'm fine. I was eager to see if my father was nearby, so I ignored any minor distractions or obstacles.
I see.
What, don't tell me you've noticed my blisters already? It seemed Saito could read through my words, and he pretended to ignore my discomfort. I can be just as stoic as you are. We were heading to Fushimi, which is south of Kyoto. Hijikata mentioned my father was staying at the Terada Inn, but how do we even know if it's legit?
Our report comes from a local inspector. Supposedly, a bald doctor practicing Western medicine stayed there, which fits your father.
A bald doctor? I grew restless with anticipation from Saito's words, and my heart couldn't contain itself. Could this person really be my father? How many bald men practice this field of study?
Let's hurry. If you need to rest, tell me.
Okay. I had to make sure Saito doesn't see me as a burden, so I tucked my strap and hurried with him. How did I tuck my strap exactly? Shortly after, we reached the Terada Inn, located in Fushimi. Is my father really here? The inn itself looked well kept from the outside, and Fushimi stirred in the background. I clenched my throat nervously as I approached the door, but I waited for Saito to instruct me.
There appears to be a tea shop on the other side. Let's go in.
Wait, we're going through the tea shop? Why didn't he go in immediately to snoop around? 'Cause he might be recognized? I had so many questions, both for him and my father. However, Saito seemed very calculated, scanning the area since we arrived, so it felt best to trust in his judgment. A wise decision. We entered the tea shop around the other side, and Saito began scoping the Terada Inn. Saito led me to a seat near the shop's balcony, and he whispered discreetly into my ear.
The Terada Inn has been noted in reports as a popular destination for the Satsuma domain. Because of this, I am cautious that there should be ronin from the west staying here.
From the west? From what I knew, the Choshu domain was connected to Imperial Ronin from the west as well. What does that mean for my father to be here?
One cannot say for certain. It could all be a coincidence, or it could spell worse.
Oh, he's so beautiful. Oh no, surely it's a coincidence. Saito looked at me but didn't respond. The possibility of my father conducting business in Fushimi now pointed to an implicit relationship between him and the Imperialists. But that couldn't be the case. My father explicitly told me he was visiting Kyoto under direct orders from the shogunate. Surely there was a reason for the confusion. But what kind of reason would he have being here?
Our connection with the Aizu domain means it would be careless, let alone dangerous for us to enter the Terada Inn without tact. Therefore, I figured it would be good for you to sit here and observe the inn and its customers for clues. Is that all right?
Huh? You want me to watch the inn? Saito wasn't my babysitter, but I'd appreciate some backup if something went wrong. Does Saito trust me enough for him to take his eyes off me? I didn't want to mess things up. Saito, ever the keen eye, spoke to comfort me. He can totally read my mind.
Look, the Imperialists know what I look like. If any of them see me, there's no telling what they'll do to me, or even you.
Yeah, I'm sure Saito can handle himself. Me, not so much.
Don't worry, okay? I'm going to be gathering information nearby. If something happens to you, I'll be here before you know it.
Alright, but I'm holding you to that.
Okay then, I'll leave it to you.
Saito stood quickly and disappeared into the crowd, leaving me in my seat at the tea shop. I had to play the part, so I gathered my bearings in my new surroundings, and I approached a customer visiting the shop for questions. For a second, I had to remember I was there for a mission, but it felt like I was a spy in a play. Ooh, fun. I gathered some intel from customers, confirming sightings of a bald doctor of Western medicine who frequented the Terada Inn until a few days ago. Unfortunately, the leads ran dry for anything during the past 2 or 3 days. We missed him. Looks like we may have just missed him. I braced myself for the possibility that the lead was false, but even still, it was discouraging to come up with nothing. This was no time to be upset, though. Maybe he would return to the inn after finishing whatever business it was that took him away. Longing for a loved one to return is like waiting for a wound to heal, or the memory of the time before the pain seeps into every moment after. With the approval of the tea shop's owner, I watched the happenings of the Terada Inn from the shop's balcony. Just then, a mysterious visitor approached me. An attractive one?
Waiting for someone?
Huh? He caught me off guard. Had he been watching me? I turned around, nearly clutching my kodachi. Oh yeah, this is the guy we're after in this route. He took a seat near me, staring at my hand as if to assure me from harm. Who was this man? He didn't look like anyone I'd ever seen before.
Something the matter? You look dazed. If you're not waiting, are you looking for someone?
Oh, no. I shook my head, unsure if he could be trusted. You see, well, I'm looking for my father.
Ah, I see. Father, eh? That sounds like a predicament. Have I heard of him before? If you tell me his name, I may be able to assist you.
I'm not sure. I contemplated whether or not this man would have known my father, or even the possibility that telling this man anything would jeopardize me. However, any information he could have may help. My father visited Kyoto on a business trip, but he suddenly ceased communication with me. Rumors surfaced that someone with his likeness came to this inn, and I had to see for myself.
So, you're from the east then?
Yes, I came from Edo.
Ah, that sounds like quite the journey. I assume you're not familiar with the area either. I could help you out.
Huh? Well, I'm kind of on a job here. Darn it, I totally want to say, are you sure I would appreciate it? But no, I'm on a job and I gotta stick to it, and I guess that'll make him like me more. So, oh no, thank you. Oh no, thank you. Oh, so pretty. Please don't take any offense, but I only just met you, and it would be rude to ask you for help. He furrowed his brow deeply, pausing to think before speaking again.
But you're not from the area, right? I'm sure it must be difficult to explore Kyoto without help.
Well, yes, it's true I'm not from here. But it's like trying to catch smoke. My father being here might just be a rumor after all. I couldn't bear to trouble you with something that may just be unsubstantiated rumor.
I see your point.
He smirked kindly and nodded in agreement. Somehow, smirk and kindly don't quite seem to go together for me. But okay. Yeah, I think he liked my dedication.
I respect your position. I just wanted to lend a hand to someone if she needed it.
Huh? Do you just look for people to help often? And did you miss the part where he said she, Chizuru?
Something like that. How does the saying go? There's no such thing as coincidences. I merely enjoy giving advice, sometimes if it's not needed.
Oh, and see, I also wanted to go after Ryouma because he's one of those historical figures that I really like. I've seen him in lots of things, and I've always liked the stories about him. And plus I read somebody's blog once that said, And he looks like the love child of Harada and Shiranui, and they like showed the pictures of them like crossed. It's like, yeah, he actually kind of does. Ah, I see. Well, thank you anyway. I thought I was firm in how I rejected his offer, but he just kept pressing the issue. I repeatedly refused his help, but for whatever reason, he would insist on being a gentleman. He's persistent. In the end, it would seem he didn't actually respect my position or my agency. Well, thank you for trying to help me, Mr.
Oh, my name? Folks around here know me as Umetaro Saitani. And nice to meet you.
Why are you lying to me about your name? His face remained calm behind a wry smile. Saitani. My name is Yukimura. It's very nice to meet you.
Yukimura, huh? You know, some say your name matches your figure, and I'd have to agree.
You think my name matches my figure?
What's your first name? With such a cute face, you must have a cute name as well. It has to be.
Well, cute is kind of a stretch. If I told him my name was Chizuru Yukimura, he might suspect me to be a woman. He already called you a woman once.
Oh, well, it's okay for you not to tell me. They do say every woman has her secrets.
After he said those words, I gasped and covered my mouth with my hands. Yeah, you didn't notice the first time, apparently. Wait a minute. Saitani, I'm not a woman.
Huh, you can't be serious. You are a woman, or do you take me for a fool?
I would never take you for a fool.
Well, I'm sure a cute girl like you has plenty of men bothering her all around town, so I think it's smart of you to dress as a man.
Thanks? The nonchalantness of his response made me practically faint from relief.
So, why don't you go ahead and tell me your first name, eh?
If you tell me your real name? Considering he's already figured out I'm a woman, I saw no harm in being honest with him about my name. My name is Chizuru Yukimura.
Chizuru, eh? I knew it. I knew it would be a cute name, and just as fitting on a cute girl.
You think so?
Enough about that. What kind of men do you like? If you had to go on a date, where would you go?
Why are you asking me these questions? They won't help me find my father. I'm a little busy, you know, as cute as you are. Saitani? We're not talking about me right now. I thought you were going to help me look for my father.
Oh, that's right, huh? I totally forgot about that.
Saitani's talent appeared to be in engaging seemingly endless conversations. Since he was the first person outside of the Shinsengumi with whom I'd spoken, I completely lost track of time. Luckily, Saito appeared to rescue me.
Yukimura, sorry for keeping you. I just returned.
Oh, hi, Saito.
Huh, looks like your friend came back. I should get going now. You don't need my help here.
Saitani stood up from his seat slowly, appearing dejected as if I'd broken his heart. Oh, I think we'll meet again.
Well, later, Chizuru. Hope fate brings us together again.
Oh, maybe. Before I could tell him goodbye, Saitani had wandered off. Saito focused on him, making sure he was out of earshot, and muttered quietly into my ear.
Who is that man?
He snuck up behind me earlier. Supposedly his name is Saitani. How did it go, Saito? Were you able to find anything useful about my father?
I will brief you on our journey back to headquarters, but don't get your hopes up.
Oh. I felt my stomach drop from his words, and I assumed it meant the lead was false. I clenched my fists tightly, fighting back angry tears. I couldn't let Saito see my disappointment.
Hold on. I'm going to pay for your bill.
Okay. Saito and I headed back to the base, and I noticed fireflies grouping in circles as he updated me. The bald doctor staying at the Terada Inn was, in fact, someone different than my father who had just happened to match his description.
My apologies. I brought you all the way to Fushimi, and there was nothing to show for it. This must have seemed like a waste of time.
No, at least we did something. Oh, please, don't worry. Even though we learned nothing about my father, I was able to get some fresh air. That's nice. And I met somebody cool. Still, I couldn't shake the worry for my father. Saito looked to me reassuringly, and his face lit brightly as he remembered something.
Oh, by the way, that man you were talking to earlier.
You mean Saitani?
He was an odd man. Usually I can read people, but his outward demeanor was overly friendly, while his body language seemed guarded.
Huh, I guess I didn't notice. To me, Saitani didn't seem guarded at all, judging by how open he was with stories. Was something troubling you about him, Saito? He nodded in response, looking away from my face.
You can tell a swordsman by their expression. I assume him to be some form of Ronin, and if he's from the area, he is likely to be a warrior of the Satsuma domain in the west.
A Ronin, He seemed too jovial to be a lordless samurai, especially the ones causing trouble in Kyoto. From what it seemed like in our conversation, he was the furthest thing from a warrior.
I only tell you this because you shouldn't let your guard down. The state of Kyoto has been unsafe, and I want you to be extra careful.
Understood. I wonder who this Saitani man really was. My first adventure into Fushimi taught me many things, and I could only await what came next. Hopefully it'll be soon. Chapter 2, July 1864. This time we have to remain in the compounds again, I think? Is that what we did last time? For this choice, why me? So we'll have a little bit of new text. Why me? I feel like I were to go with him, I would only be a burden. Why did he choose me? I can't stand the thought of getting in someone's way and being the reason something bad happens.
You may be a burden, but at the end of it, you could also save someone's life if you're lucky.
Sanem responded while giving me a cold gaze. So this is the Ikeda Inn section where, I'm going with Yamazaki to deliver the message. Once again, I tell Yamazaki to go. And this time I have to head for Ikeda Inn, so we'll get some new events. As fast as we could manage, we ran through the silent streets of Kyoto toward the Ikeda Inn. We were nearly a block away when we heard the first cries of men engaged in battle. None of the Shinsengumi remained outside, but I heard a voice ring out from inside that sounded much like Kondo's.
I shall take the front.
Guess I'll take the back then.
They gave each other a curt nod, then turned to lead their men. I couldn't stand there by myself. I decided to follow Harada. Well, that's some events for getting out of the way for Harada's route. I ran after Harada toward the back of the inn. I'm coming with you! I yelled as loud as I could, hoping he could hear me above the sound of fighting from inside the inn.
You are, huh? Guess I can't just leave you behind now, can I?
He flashed me a quick grin. Even with everything that was going on, he still acted like he had everything under control.
I'll keep an eye on you, so make sure you stick close, alright?
Okay. We rounded the corner and found ourselves at the rear entrance to the Ikeda Inn. I saw a blue jacket drenched in blood. Ah! My hand flew to my mouth, almost involuntarily. 3 of the Shinsengumi soldiers lay there. I saw no signs of any Ronin nearby. Harada walked quickly to each man, checking for signs of life and any wounds they'd sustained.
Ando and Nita, huh? Stay strong, guys. You're gonna be okay.
They nodded weakly to Harada, their breath shallow and harsh. He turned to the men he'd bought with him, and directed them to carry the 2 wounded soldiers away from the inn. The 3rd man, however, even my untrained eye could see that his face was frozen in the grim, waxy mask of death. Slowly, Harada knelt down beside him.
You did good, Okusawa. You will be remembered as a great man.
His tone was kind, compassionate, and, as he touched the man softly on the head, husky with emotion. Harada. I felt my heart tighten. He's a good man. You might not think it to look at him, but Harada cared for people. He was nice. I think he looks nice, at least the way they draw him in the game. He'd undoubtedly been in many battles, and this was far from the first death he'd seen. Death was likely as common as breathing to him, but was he hurt this much by everyone?
They must have jumped down from the 2nd floor and attacked our men.
He looked up at the inn, and his eyes narrowed. We could still hear the sounds of battle inside. Are they going to be okay? Harada's expression was exactly what I would have expected of him.
Yes, of course. They're a tough bunch of guys. Alright, if anybody tries to run away out the back door, we're gonna cut him, okay? That's our job.
Okay. Something about his words calmed me. After all, they were tough. They'd be fine. I stood up a little straighter next to Harada and waited. Little did we know there were demons in there. And for this choice, which is a totally brand new choice, I will stay behind. I'll stay behind. Wait a minute, haven't I read this? Yeah, okay, we've been through that. It just wasn't marked for some reason. And once again, go to the common room. Alright, so we have new text here at this scene. November 1864. As we went deeper into autumn, the lush winds wrapped me as gorgeous clouds rippled across the cool gray sky. Here I go. I was carrying my lunch into the common room when I overheard a conversation.
So, you're saying the relationship between the Aizu and Tosa domains is getting complicated?
Yeah, tension's cold when each domain offered a member to commit suicide, but damn it if it doesn't leave a bitter taste in your mouth.
I had a hunch on what the two were talking about, so I couldn't help myself from stopping when I caught on to their conversation. This summer at Akebonote, a traditional Japanese restaurant, an incident occurred. The Aizu domain joined the Shinsengumi, but one of the Aizu members injured a member of the Tosa domain, causing a big problem. It took a while to shake the animosity between the Aizu and Tosa domains.
Oh, hey Chizuru. Is it time for lunch already? If you need help, we'll be here for you.
Oh, don't worry.
No, it's fine. Placing food is nothing. We can walk and talk and everything.
No problem chewing gum and walking. As I rushed to work, Harada laughed and followed behind me. Heisuke and Nagakura continued to talk while Harada and I were setting up. Hey, you two could help too, you know.
So, who was the third warrior with the Aizu? Don't tell me.
Yup, it's exactly who you were thinking of. That freaking Takeda is always drawing his sword and asking questions later.
Oh, Takeda. Nagakura sighed, and then speak of the devil.
Excuse me, is Chief Kondo here?
As if summoned by his name, Takeda appeared with a sulky face in the common room. I believe Kondo is with Hijikata right now.
Commander Hijikata, huh? I see.
Takeda shook his head, and he tried to leave the common room. Before he did so, however, he suddenly stopped to face everyone.
Just so you all have the facts, I never draw my sword without thinking. That Tosa warrior had it coming, since he refused to answer my questions and tried to escape. Don't get that wrong.
After spitting that out, Takeda stormed out of the common room. I guess he heard some of the conversation.
What do you know? It sounds like he heard everything.
He's the one who caused all this trouble, and he has his head up his ass. Can't say I'm surprised.
Well, he does have a point, doesn't he? The warrior from the Tosa domain should have just told him who he was. It's his fault for trying to run away.
Tosa has an internal group within the Imperial Nationalist Party, known as the Loyalist Party. I'm sure they wanted nothing to do with us.
Nagakura perked up like a little bunny. At the sound of Saito's words, as if he remembered something. I could just see him doing this. It's so adorable. I want to see that animated.
Oh, hey, Saito, the inn you visited in search of clues about Koto was called the Torada Inn, right?
Yes, what of it?
I heard the inn is frequented by members of the Satsumo domain, but I also heard Ronin from the Tosa domain stay there often.
So? Wait, does that mean... I looked towards Saito, and he responded thoughtfully.
Perhaps the man who approached you the other day may have been a Tosa Ronin.
Who was it?
I think his name was Umetaro Saitani. He didn't look like he belonged to a domain, though. He looked more like a Ronin.
That sounds fishy. Maybe we should investigate this further.
How? Go back there and hang out?
Let us consider the Aizu domain's position. Regardless of whether this man is a Ronin, it isn't in our best interest to meddle with a Tosa man.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we should just drop the fact that he could be causing trouble. You never know what could happen.
Well, for now, we can find out whether or not the guy was really a Tosa Ronin, and at best, learn what he's up to in Kyoto.
Yeah. Hey, Chizuru, next time you see him, can you try to get some information? Where he's from and what he's doing in Kyoto?
Boy, you're gonna have to take me back to Fushimi for that. Get some information? I spoke to him very briefly the other day, but from our conversation, Saitani didn't appear to be a troublesome person in the least bit. I'll try my best, but I don't know if I can do what you want without sounding suspicious. If Saitani became aware of what I'm doing and abducts me, the Shinsengumi would be in trouble. Before I could imagine it, Nagakura waved his hand.
Oh, well no, I was joking. I mean, I can't ask you to do something too risky.
Man, your whole life is a joke. So whenever you claim to joke, how would she know it's a joke? Watch what you say, dumbass.
What the hell? Where do you get off calling me a joke? That hurts, man.
Oh, you should be used to comments like that from Harada. And Heisuke. After setting the table, I ate lunch with the men. The next day I joined Saito and the members of the 3rd Division on a round. Were they actually expecting I might run into him out here? Oh! At first I thought I recognized someone who looked like my father, but I realized the only thing that was similar was his kimono. The face looked nothing like his. I don't know how many times I can endure this disappointment. I tried to fall back into formation with the men when...
Chizuru!
Someone yelled my name from the crowd, and I stopped walking to glance behind.
Man, I never thought I'd get to see you again. I wonder if this is fate.
Oh!
You remember me, right? We looked for your father, remember? Back at the Terada Inn.
No, we didn't. We talked about looking for my father. Yes, I remember. Saitani. Thank you so much for accompanying me during my search. Saitani laughed heartily, baring his bright white teeth. Given that time in history, I wonder if he really had bright white teeth. Doubtful.
Oh, please, it was no problem at all. I mean, it's not as if we found them anyways. So, what happened afterwards? Were you able to locate your father?
Well, no. Saitani's expression dropped into a glum frown, as if he felt genuine pity for me.
Oh. I mean, it's not like it's a sure thing that he's gone for good, right? So, turn that frown upside down, girl, and let the good times roll. Say, why don't we grab a delicious bite to eat?
Who am I patrolling with exactly? Well, I was about to decline his offer when I remembered. The Shinsengumi wanted me to investigate Saitani's origin and purpose for staying in Kyoto. The Shinsengumi had been looking out for me, so it was time I looked out for them. The 3rd Division went on before me. There we go. I was gonna say, shouldn't we notify somebody? From the distance, I saw Saito stop for a second, before nodding in approval from afar once he realized whom I had met. Unfortunately, it's the one who knows who I'm talking to.
What's the matter, Chizuru? You're talking to a hottie like me, and you're looking away? You're a tough nut to crack.
Well, clearly he has no self-esteem issues. Oh no, it's not like that. I shook my head and tried to change the subject. So, Saitani...
What's up?
You see, I wanted to ask you something.
And what would that be? I aim to please you. So anything you have to ask, it's my honor to answer. What's wrong? Cat got your tongue? I thought you had a question for me.
Don't ask him. I don't know why, but okay. Well, it would be rude to impose a question on him like this. I mean, I barely know Saitani, and definitely not enough for me to pry information from him. Oh, never mind. Well, we should at least make some light conversation.
Is that so? I told you that I aim to please, but I guess you're just a shy one. So, Chizuru, I want to ask you something too. Is that okay?
Sure, what is it? I answered without even thinking what it could be.
What you really mean to ask is, who are you really? Is that right?
Ah! He changed his tone, shifted his posture upright, and went straight to the point. It was jarring.
I had a feeling. If that's what you wanted to ask, why didn't you just say so?
How?
Based on your shaky behavior, anyone could guess that you had something up your sleeve. I mean, I can probably count on one hand all the possible questions you'd ask me.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was that obvious. I was disappointed in my investigation skills, but Saitani continued nonetheless.
You see, I travel as a Lordless Ronin, so when I met you the other day, I couldn't tell you my real name. Sorry about that. It felt a little funny giving you my alias, but I figured if we crossed paths again, that'd mean it was fate for us to come together, right? Now that we're here, I'll tell my real name. I'm Ryouma Sakamoto, a Lordless Ronin of Tosa.
Oh, he is with Tosa. Sakamoto. Just as Nagakura and the other men predicted, he was a Tosa Ronin.
I'm currently stationed at the Navy training location opened by the shogunate to Kobe, and that's why occasionally I pop up in Kyoto for a visit.
Oh, only occasionally? So we won't get to see you all the time? So you're allied with the shogunate?
Well, I guess you could say that.
If he's an ally of the shogunate, then at the very least he wouldn't be an enemy of the Shinsengumi. Phew, that felt like a huge burden lifted from me. So what exactly does one do at the Navy training location?
We're learning how to steer ships. I'm not talking about small little fishing boats either. I'm talking about the black ships.
Black ships? Like a warship? Didn't someone, Commodore Perry, visit one of those 10 years ago?
Exactly. It's an institution to teach people how to steer such ships for the Japanese people.
So even we can be taught to steer ships like that? Of course! What do you think, just because you're a different nationality means you can't do the same things that people of other races can do? I've never seen one myself, but I heard stories about how black ships were as big as whales, and that they could cut through the sea.
Well, of course we can. Whether we're Western or Japanese, it's not like our brains are different or something.
Exactly! Oh. Sakamoto's passion was contagious, and he impressed me with his enthusiastic style of speech.
Ships and boats are incredible, especially those new steamboats. You can transport cargo in half the time, and carry double the normal load.
Wow.
Right? And you know what they say, time is money. So anyone with a steamboat has twice the time and twice the money, and they're stinking rich. The country known as Great Britain, who basically rules the ocean, is the world's largest nation of pirates. Whether you're a businessman or a general, this new age is all about who rules the sea.
I see. Sakamoto was rattling on so quickly that I was honestly overwhelmed by his words. Then, as usual, he snapped into another tone entirely.
You have such a good soul. You don't look like you could ever betray someone.
I try not to.
I'm sure if I didn't tell you who I was, you'd be in deep water, wouldn't you?
What do you mean by that? Oh, it wouldn't be like that. Before I could finish, a visitor approached us. Saito? Oh, who's this hottie? Darn it, another gorgeous, undateable guy. Why, Automate Idea Factory, why you do this to us constantly?
Oi, Saitani, who you talking to? That a friend there?
An aggressive-looking Ronin walked up to us, staring me down and keeping his guard up.
Oh, this is a friend.
Sakamoto picked up on my discomfort, so he discreetly whispered to me off to the side.
His name is Nakauka. Well, he's kind of my colleague. Oi, wait, I'm Ishikawa, Saitani. Oi, I already told her my name. There's no point in hiding yours. How can you just give your name to a stranger like that, huh? You need to sort yourself out. Ugh, how can you just give your real name out to a stranger, huh? You need to sort yourself out.
Nakauka looked gravely at me, and his tone was short and brusque.
I'm Shintaro Nakauka.
I'm Yukimura. Nice to meet you. I bowed to him, and Nakauka glared at me with a suspicious gaze.
You a girl?
Oh, me? I wasn't expecting him to realize it so quickly, so I felt a sudden rush of panic, but luckily Sakamoto covered for me.
Some people have reasons for dressing a little funny, you know, so why don't you let it slide, yeah? Oi, I don't know what kind of reason you got, but you walk around like a boy in Kyoto during a time like this. That's a little fishy.
I didn't know how to respond.
Anyway, Sakamoto, people are waiting on you, so let's get out of here. Oh, that's right, huh? Guess it's time we get going. I like you. Laters, Chizuru.
Oh, you take care as well, Sakamoto.
I'm not sure when I'll be in Kyoto next, but whenever that is, I hope I see you again.
Oh, don't go. I want to see more of you. Yes, that would be lovely. Oh! Hey, get off him!
Oi, Sakamoto, stop lagging. Let's hurry it up, shall we?
What's the rush?
Ow! Alright, stop yanking on my ears. Why are you so mad? Shut it, I'll leave you for just 1 second, and I find you off messing around.
The two bickered as they disappeared into the many faces of the Kyoto streets. Sakamoto mentioned he was stationed at the Navy training location, right? I wondered if that was the case for Nakalka, too. They didn't seem like bad people. Well, Nakalka didn't seem exactly nice. Well, okay, he didn't seem like a bad person either, but he wasn't nice in particular. Yeah, since there was all those scenes with Sakamoto, I'll go ahead and call this his video. Hopefully the rest of them will be like that too. Hopefully this was an adequately sized video too, because it's always difficult to tell how much I recorded when I've been skipping around. So, hope to see you in the next video to see more of my gorgeous Ryouma Sakamoto. Hopefully he won't be shy. Or I'd love to see you in some of my other videos. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye everybody.